This is a download from Rutland Radio.
Hello, and thank you for downloading the Rutland Radio podcast from rutlandradio.co.uk. This is where you can hear the best bits from the last week. Talking London Marathon as well, what a warm one it was yesterday, over 40,000 past the finish line. One or two did drop out just because of the heat, but Tracy Carr said it was an amazing experience. Tracy's from Oakham, so it was really hot, but the crowd got the runners round. I'm not going to forget the day running the London Marathon. Maddie Long from Stamford, great experience, amazing support from the crowd, a wall of sound pretty much the whole way round. Never heard anything like it. Dean Cornish has run it before, but yesterday you were in a supporting role, Dean.
Yeah, I'd like to say it was easier spectating, but I'm not sure it is, actually. It's quite tough work, walking around the streets of London and sort of battling your way along the tube. No, in all seriousness, it's massive respect to anyone who ran yesterday. It was brutally hot. But what a fantastic day the London Marathon is. I enjoy every single year, whether it's spectating or running in it. The colour, the atmosphere, the personal milestones, the charity money raised, just fantastic. And there was such a lot of local representation yesterday as well. There was 6 people that I know who we call the Super Six, who all running for mental health charities, including my wife. They raised around £60,000 between them. And it's just a superb day, just to see so many people from the local area supporting and running the race. Really fantastic.
And this was your wife's first marathon?
It was, yeah, and she says it's her last as well.
Well,
Often I finish a marathon and look forward to doing another one. She's firmly said this morning, looking at her blisters, that she doesn't want to do another one. She enjoyed the experience, but she'll admit she's not a massive runner. You know, she doesn't really enjoy it that much. She didn't enjoy the training. It's been very difficult for her on many levels doing the training recently, and I'm not sure she's that keen on doing another one. But you never know.
Well, indeed. And, what did you say to her before the race? What were your top tips? You know, for anyone for the next marathon, what would your top tips be? I remember you saying to me, get there as late as possible, jump over the barriers if you have to, because waiting around tires you out.
Exactly. You see some people getting into the pens and waiting in Greenwich from sort of 8 o'clock in the morning, which I don't really understand. It's you want to get there obviously in good time. You don't want to be obviously delayed, or you don't want to have to go through the start line late at all. But I think if you stand up from 8 in the morning, you're already tired before you even go through the start line at 10 o'clock. So that was one of my bits of advice to Sophie. Also yesterday with the heat, it was just take on as much water as you possibly can, and also don't try and go too quickly. If it's going to be hot, then you've just got to go within your own parameters, and not try and go for a personal best. And Sophie didn't do that. She was happy with her time. She just wanted to get herself round, and that's what she did. And I'm really proud of her. She did a fantastic job.
Dean Cornish, thank you very much for joining us on Rutland Radio.
Highlights from the past 7 days, the Rutland Radio podcast.
Busy weekend, wasn't it, in terms of sporting events? Of course, yesterday we had the Rutland to Melton International Cycle Classic. Amazing speeds reached yesterday between Rutland and Melton. In the cars, those classic cars went from Uppingham to Bullock and then to Stilton in Cambridgeshire on the Stilton Cheese Classic Car Run. And the London Marathon. Rather warm one. Over 40,000 were there, and I always admire those who do it in costume. This is Craig Williamson, who ran it in a tractor. And thankfully, this was, actually a sort of wooden tractor, Craig?
No, it was the frame itself. I mean, it was about 8 foot long and 7 foot tall, with a plastic frame, and we used roofing felt for all the designs on the Massey Ferguson front and all around of it on the wheels and whatever. So, it wasn't the lightest thing I've ever carried.
No. You've run the London Marathon before?
That's right, yes. I've run it last year, and obviously raising a lot of money for the Links and Knots air ambulance. And so this year, I thought, well, rather than just run, I was inspired by people who run in their costumes, because they are nutters. Oh, yeah.
You just called yourself a nutter there.
Yeah. and to be there and to see the effect the tractor had on people was just absolutely fantastic. And what a day.
And what a warm day as well. So you finished it in under 7 hours, which is so impressive, really, considering this weight that you were carrying. Have you any idea how much it weighed?
It probably weighs, with a pack on the back and bits and bobs, about 15 kilos. It's more the length and the size of it, and just the awkwardness and any road we came across where the wind was coming across, and there was a bit of a breeze on, which was quite nice. That just pushes you around a lot. And so it was a most amazing day.
£7,708.40 so far. You only hope to raise 2,500. It's about 3 times that. How brilliant.
And the way it went yesterday, I got back to my phone afterwards and just looked at the notifications from the emails from Just Giving, and I think we had over 20 more donations yesterday. And the generosity of people, I mean, especially the air ambulance, which is a great cause anyway, was fantastic. And I think, to be totally honest, with money I'm going to be collecting over the next couple of weeks, we're going to top 10,000.
How wonderful for the Links and Knots Air Ambulance, Craig. Well, well done for doing it. So is it your feet? Is it your ankles? Is it the backs of your legs? Or is it your shoulders that ache the most this morning?
Shoulders and my back a bit. But, my shoulders are really sore. I mean, my legs, I run marathons. I did Manchester a couple of weeks ago. So I'm sort of marathon fit. But it's just, the carrying was the thing. And I mean, just not exhaustion, but mental exhaustion as well from yesterday, from the constant. I mean, the crowd was, it was epic. I had my name, Farmer Craig, written up on the front of the tractor, and they were chanting it probably 50 yards before I got there because they could see me. And just the reaction to the people was just fantastic. So that mental sort of knackeredness is also there.
Wow. It's just such an overwhelming event, isn't it? And as you say, when you're as eye-catching as you were yesterday, in a Massey Ferguson tractor, maybe Massey Ferguson could give you a bit of money.
They did. Over £1,000 from Massey Ferguson and the local Massey dealer as well. So Peter from Biddington up in Lincolnshire. So, very generous as well. And we went to a couple of events with the tractor I did to fundraise a couple of Massey events as well. So, they've been well supporting.
Brilliant. Farmer Craig, thank you very much for being on Rutland Radio this morning and sharing your experience of the London Marathon. And well done for that amazing total for the Links and Knots Air Ambulance. Thanks for being on this morning.
Rutland Radio.
It's Rutland Radio, so the Stamford International Music Festival is just a few days away. Freya Goldmark is with us this morning now. Freya, to sum up your musical journey over your last, 20-odd years of your life. You've done tons of stuff, haven't you? You're at the Royal College of Music at the moment in your final year.
Yeah, I am. It's been 17 years of playing the violin.
And you're so well known for that, for giving recitals locally. You went to Stamford School and thought, well, why not have an international music festival in town?
Exactly. I would say probably my favourite places to play are locally because it's so wonderful to see familiar faces and people that have supported me for so long. And Stamford is a beautiful place with perfect venues.
So is it a case of you looking at your contacts book and thinking, who do I know that might be able to come to Stamford?
Pretty much. A lot of bravery in asking people who are really fantastic musicians and hoping that they'll want to play with me. And luckily a lot of them said yes.
So your venues range from Brown's Hospital to the Boys' School Hall, right across town. And for how many days?
It's 3 days and 5 concerts.
And tell us just some of the names who are coming to be part of it.
Probably the biggest name we've got is Clara Rodriguez. She's a Venezuelan pianist who's very well known, and she champions South American music, and she'll be coming to introduce us to a lot of those composers that we might not be so familiar with.
And from your point of view, I guess when, growing up at school locally, you would have been exposed to the same pop music as anyone else, but your passion for the composers that are actually showcased on this has been pretty enduring over, well, as you say, the 17 years that you've been playing the violin.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have a very eclectic music taste, so I listen to just as much as anyone else, I think. But the joy that you get from playing these older works that are so cemented into the musical arts it's a really special thing. Now,
are there... Let's talk tickets and where people get them from and when they should get them. I mean, ideally, you want people to book in advance for all this.
Absolutely. It would be great if people could book in advance. Our lunchtime concerts at Brown's Hospital only take 50 seats, and they're close to selling out already. So if you fancy coming to those, I would book soon. And tickets are available on our website, simfestival.com, and that's a very simple process.
Now, you last did a festival in Uppingham. Do you see Stamford as being a venue that you'd revisit? Are you going to do another music festival after this?
Absolutely. I think that all going well, this should be an annual fixture for Stamford.
Freya Goldmark, lovely to see you at Rutland Radio. So simfestival.co.uk if people want to find out more about everyone who's on, ticket prices, and people will see you as part of it as well.
In everything, yep.
Every single concert?
Every single concert, yep.
Now, I'm right in thinking you've actually done things in the past where you've played for hours, and didn't you do a really long concert at some point? I'm trying to think now. No, this is why we record, you see. It's easier that way.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, but thanks for coming into Rutland Radio.
Thank you very much.
Rutland Radio's best bits on the podcast.
Thank you, Lydia. Well, we're just on the way towards Hambleton Peninsula. There's quite a gathering of beavers from Oakham who are here today. What are your names?
Freddie, Oliver, Hannah.
And you're all 6 to 8 year olds that are in this group, is that right?
Yes.
So tell us how far you're travelling, and you're carrying something special as well today.
We're carrying water for people from Mexico who don't have Madagascar, who don't have clean water.
So you've been finding out, how they get water, and when we turn out the tap here, we take it for granted, I suppose.
Yes, we learned about people had to walk a very long way to get their water.
4 miles.
That's how far they have to walk, so that's what you're doing today?
Yes, we're doing 3 or 4 miles.
So is it fun being in the beavers?
Yes, very.
What sort of things do you get up to?
We do loads of activities, like really exciting stuff.
Now, you were due to do this on a Saturday, and then it snowed, and it was all a bit dangerous.
It was a mini beast from the east.
It was the mini beast from the east, you're absolutely right. But now here we are, beautiful sunshine, so it's going to be a nice day. And you've got, there must be about 20 of you here today, something like
20.
that? 20. Well done me. Well, thanks for joining us, and good luck. So the Mayor's going to meet you later to congratulate you on your achievement, isn't he?
Yeah. Yes.
Rutland Radio.
You might remember about 4 years ago, we had a huge build-up to the royal baby, the firstborn for the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, Prince George. And then, of course, on St George's Day, came their next baby boy. A royal expert back then was Rachel from Stamford, who I subsequently married. And here she is, back for another go on the royal baby watch. There wasn't an awful lot to watch. It all happened so quickly.
Good morning. It did all happen quite quickly. She went to St Mary's at 6 o'clock in the morning, and by 11:01, she'd had her little boy.
So yes, same drill really as before in terms of the same hospital, the same outfit that she was, same designer of outfit that she was wearing when she was pictured, and all these women who've had babies who are saying, how did she look so good? How was she there beaming away 4 hours after the event?
I don't know. She's obviously got a hairstylist and a PA style advisor, but she was obviously walking and standing on her own and looking amazing. So I have no idea how she did it. Obviously, from personal experience, I was not looking like that after 6 hours of giving birth. No way. But she looked radiant, and it was her third, so I think she knew what she was doing. Oh, okay. Sorry, that was your daughter in the back.
Yes, I know the one. Hello, Florence.
Say hello, Daddy. No,
okay. Never mind. We'll keep on for now. So what else can you tell us about yesterday? Of course, it was announced on the royal easel.
Yes, the footman, Heather MacDonald, and senior footman Olivia Smith at 2:30 popped that notice on the golden easel outside Buckingham Palace, which is so traditional, and announcing the birth, which was just wonderful to see, really. And I think having a second boy is just great. And obviously there's all the names. What's the name going to be? Arthur, Albert, Frederick, James, Philip. Will there be a nod to Catherine's, the Duchess's family this time? So it's all speculation at the moment. But I think Prince Florence.
Yes.
Mummy's on the phone.
Yes. What do you think?
What, name-wise?
Yeah.
Arthur.
Yeah. Arthur is the bookie's favourite. I'm going for Philip.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my dad will be pleased.
Yes, that's very true.
The weekly Rutland Radio podcast.
I am Vicky Norton, and I am the director and I'm also playing Christmas Eve.
Vicky, Avenue Q, presented by Scamp, is on this evening at Bourne Corn Exchange. So can you tell me a bit about Avenue Q, because it's got puppets in it?
It does have puppets in it, but it is not a children's show. It's a very hard one to describe because it is an adult show and it's incredibly funny. It's very naughty, it's very rude, it's very, very funny. It won several awards when it first came out on Broadway. And yeah, it's very, very good.
It's like Sesame Street for adults.
Yes, it's Sesame Street for grown-ups. Once all the children have gone to bed, it's what happens when it's just the grown-ups left on the street.
So what's it like directing this sort of play when you've got puppets involved?
It's so much fun. It's such a brilliant show. It's wonderfully written. But it's also a challenge, and the cast, to their credit, have really, really stepped up to the mark, because you don't actually get to see the proper puppets for the show until we do the dress rehearsal. So we've been rehearsing just as we are, and we have a rehearsal puppet. It's been very challenging for the cast, but they have done it fantastically.
So it's all going to be a surprise for you as well, and the cast, and the audience.
Yeah, exactly. So we all got introduced to the actual puppets on Sunday when we did the get-in, and then we've had a couple of more days rehearsal, and then that's it. We're on tonight.
Nice one. And are you on tomorrow as well?
Yes, so we're on tonight, Wednesday, tomorrow, Thursday, and we're on Friday evening, and it's at 7:30 at the Bourne Corn Exchange.
And can you get your tickets on the door, or do you need to get them in advance?
You can book them in advance on the Guildhall Grantham website, but there's tickets available if you want to just come on the door, and it's £10 for a normal ticket or an £8 concession, which is over 65.
And you're playing a character as well, Christmas Eve, so...
I am. I'm actually one of there are only 3 human characters in the whole show, and I'm one of the only 3 human characters. Everybody else that's in the show, so there's a cast of 9 altogether, and the other 6 cast members play lots and lots of different characters, so it's a very, very fast show as well, with lots of characters that come into it. So if you haven't seen it before, just give it a try, because it's so different, it's so funny, and it's a difficult concept to try and explain to people. If people have seen it before, then they know how funny it is, and I know there's a lot of people coming that have seen it, so really looking forward to that.
Rutland Radio.
Thank you, Si. I'm just outside Lidl at the moment there, as you say, just over halfway through the challenge today. I'm here with Wilfred and Kevin from 7th Regiment RLC. Now, is it everything you hoped it would be today?
Yeah, definitely. It's been going on well. Lidl have actually given us so much effort all through from this morning till now. Customers and British Legion have been helpful as well. So everything has definitely going on well. The participants, the guys all the way from 7th Reg have been putting in a lot of effort. We still got more guys because it's a working day as well. Some people are still working. So literally from 2 o'clock, the commanding officer and the RSM and all the guys are going to be taking a couple of hours time. And it's been great. Everyone be healthy, no injury, and it's been really good.
Did you manage to do yours in less than 52 minutes?
No. I think I got one of the fastest guys. I think someone beat me today. So
okay, Kevin, what was your time?
Like an hour or so?
Yeah, in an hour.
Yeah, in an hour. Yeah, I did it in an hour. Yeah, which was pretty good. You know, I could not have done it without the support of my mates here, cheering me on. You know, it was good.
What does it mean to you actually being here, doing something in the Oakham, supporting the Royal British Legion here today?
It's something really good, you know. It's for the cause, you know, supporting, you know, charity and everything. It's good. It means a lot to me.
So your commanding officer is actually up next?
I think he's the last runner for today. Then the RSM is before him. So, like they say, lead by example and finish by example. So I started the lead this morning, and hopefully after his duty today, he's going to finish. Hopefully we're going to be done before 1800 at 6 o'clock, and he's going to be the last person on the treadmill.
But anyone can pop down between now and then and support you and see what you're doing.
Definitely.
Right by the checkouts.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We'll need a lot of support. We still got about 5 hours to push, so we're getting the kilometres down.
Highlights from the past 7 days, the Rutland Radio Podcast.
Jonathan Spencer, joint owner of Bill's Bar with my partner Rebecca.
Okay, so Jonathan, you've got quite a special evening going on at Bill's.
We have, yeah. We've got the X Factor judges down here. Not Simon Cowell, unfortunately, but his right-hand men, I've been assured.
Do you know how many people are going to come tonight?
We've had about 30 specific entrances, and then I know of a few more on top of that, so I think round 50 in total.
So it's just going to be a really nice night just to hear local music as well for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, a normal open mic every Wednesday is really popular anyway, but I think with the added sort of spin of having the X Factor guys here, it's going to be even better.
And what do you think to the music scene in Rutland?
It's really good, to be fair. There's some really good talent that people haven't really heard, seen, and a lot of them don't realise how good they actually are. So hopefully one of them will come down tonight and they'll get seen.
Yeah, do you reckon we could have a Rutland or Stamford winner this year?
We could well do, yeah. Who knows? We'll see tonight.
Rutland Radio.
So my name is Sue Brookes and I'm the matron and site manager at Stamford Hospital.
One of your nurses, Morag, has been chosen as our hero of the week. So can you just tell me a bit more about Morag?
Oh, well, now, Morag is a fabulous lady. She works here on our bank system as a nurse and she does regular shifts in our outpatients department. She's a very popular member of staff. But the thing about Morag is that she is super fit and she puts the rest of us to shame, really. She goes out running regularly. She keeps herself fit and trim, has so many outside interests and activities, and has done the London Marathon, not once, but several times, I think.
Now, she's 74 and
She
she's
is.
done the London Marathons, which is insane at 74.
I know, and I think she did it in just over 6 hours as well, which is a really commendable time, actually, at whatever age you are, if I'm honest.
And what do people think of her at the hospital?
Oh, well, she's just an inspiration to everybody, really. Everybody's very keen every year to hear about her training schedule and what time she'd like to achieve. And, of course, she always comes in the day after her marathon with her medal around her neck, looking as sprightly and as young as somebody in her 20s, which puts the rest of us to shame, I think.
And you mentioned she's off on holiday
Yeah, she is.
soon.
Yeah, she's going on a trip all the way across America and doing lots of activities, going to Niagara Falls and going on the train and all sorts of things. So she was telling me all about this the day after the marathon, so there's no stopping her, really.
The nomination, though, came courtesy of Vanessa McKinnon, who says about Morag, she's just completed her third London Marathon at the age of 74. Morag is a kind, lovely, genuine person, a staff nurse who's completed the last 3 London Marathons, raising thousands of pounds for the Red Cross, a true runner and hero. Morag, I told you that I was going to embarrass you on the radio. I'm sorry about that.
I bet you're not.
No, I am sorry. Because, I don't like to embarrass anyone, but I think, something as wonderful as even running the London Marathon once is worth recognising. 3 times, and I hope you don't mind us saying your age, but it was there in front of me. I read it out, and how do you feel days after having done it again?
I feel very humbled by the comments that I've just heard. In myself, I feel very good. I'm fortunate I've not had any blisters or anything, especially as it was so hot. I had a good run.
And what was it that made you run the first London Marathon? And would I be able to ask how old you were when you did?
That would be 71. I was 71.
And what made you actually decide to do it?
Well, I sort of watched people, and I sort of thought I was into speed walking in a sense, and I thought, I'm sure I could do this. I could walk it. I'm sure I could. And it's just wanting a challenge. And I did it, and I did that in 6 hours 20, I think.
And you're busy. You're still working at Stamford and Rutland Hospital. I know also you're part of the choir at All Saints Church in Stamford as well. And
Yes,
you still have time to train for the marathon.
Yes.
And you've always raised money for the British Red Cross?
When I've done the sort of 3 marathons now, yes, I've done it for the Red Cross.
And it's obviously an organisation close to your heart, being in healthcare as well.
Yes, it is. I mean, all the charities deserve the sort of recognition. I just sort of feel that, to me, the Red Cross has a bit more meaning for me, personally, because I haven't had any reason to think otherwise, really.
Rutland Radio's best bits on the podcast.
So last night was Little Genius, 21 primary school teams from around the Stamford area, and SJS retained the trophy. Can I get your first names?
Charlie, Isabel, William, Eloise.
Now, the final came down to you and St Hugh's. St Hugh's were straight in there with the right answers. You took a while to kind of warm up, do you think?
Yes, we couldn't press the buzzers in time.
But you got there. You've retained the trophy for the school. How does that feel?
It feels amazing.
we're really proud of ourselves and we just wanted to do it for the school, really.
And it's not just about ourselves, it's about the team and the whole school.
It's very magnanimous of you to say, and all the teams did so well tonight. 76% of the answers we received were correct. So everyone's a winner, aren't they?
Yes.
What were your favourite rounds? What were your favourite questions?
My favourite round was probably the literature round, because lots of the books we were asked about I'd read quite recently.
Mine was probably the history, because my uncle is a historian named David Starkey.
Dr. David Starkey is your uncle?
Yeah.
It's amazing, this school sometimes, isn't it?
My favourite round was probably the maths round, because I really like solving questions, and so did Charlie. Charlie helped quite a lot.
You were maths too?
Yep. I like sports, so my favourite question was the Six Nations, because I'm very into rugby.
Fabulous, well done. We will see you at Rutland Radio very soon. You can see
Bye.
how it actually works. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Rutland Radio.
Yeah, I'm Councillor Dr Peter Mosley. I'm the Cabinet Member for the Environment at South Kesteven District Council.
Okay, so South Kesteven District Council are trialling a different way to recycle food waste. So can you tell me a bit more about the new trial?
Well, absolutely, yeah. We're looking at all of the innovative ways that we can recycle and reuse and reduce the waste streams in our district. And it seems to us that one way of helping that is to factor out our food waste and split it out and then send it up to our non-aerobic digestion plant so it can be turned into green energy. So that's where that's our starting point.
So how many homes is it going to be trialled in?
What we've done is we've picked a nice route which is representative of our district, and it's going to encompass 4,700 homes throughout the district.
And this is including Stamford and Bourne as well, isn't it?
This is across all of our towns and also encompassing the rural areas of our district as well. So, I live out in Rippingale, and Rippingale will be on that collection route.
So how's this trial going to benefit the people of SKDC?
Well, separating out food waste is a really good way of people realising perhaps how much they're not using of what they're buying. So you go down to the supermarket and you're tempted by these 2-for-1 offers and all of the reduced prices, and you think, oh, well, I'll buy an extra one of those. But actually what turns out to happen is you don't end up using it and it ends up in the waste. By separating out food waste, people tend to realise how much they're using and how much they're throwing away. And it helps them to perhaps manage how they spend. And typically, we estimate that approximately £700 a year could be saved by just separating out food waste by our consumers. This is through people realising how much they're actually throwing out. So people don't, at the moment, you scrape your plates into the bin or whatever, and sometimes the food goes into the bin with the packaging and it hasn't even been removed because your mince has gone off or some such thing. What separating out food waste does is when people get involved in it and they start to look at it, they start to realise exactly how much of the food that they've bought they've not used, and it helps them to change their buying behaviours so that they buy less and use more, hence reducing how much food waste we actually collect. So it's a positive. The waste hierarchy is a wonderful thing, and right at the top of it is reducing. We want people to reduce what they throw away, and by separating out food waste, we increase what we can recycle and we turn it into green energy, but we also help the consumer reduce what they give us.
Do you have a figure on how much food waste there is per year in South Kesteven?
Per year, there is a figure somewhere, but what we look at it is per household, and we estimate it to be around about 1.5 kilos per week. So if you then multiply that across the number of households, that would be representative. So it's quite a significant amount of food waste that we throw away. But obviously that's very variable because some people have pets, and so the dogs and the cats benefit from the scrapings, and other people are very frugal and they don't do they already are very efficient. So really it's a variable. But it's typically around about 1.5 kilos a week that a household will throw away in food waste.
And if food waste is disposed of separately, then how is it going to be disposed of? Is it a more environmentally friendly way?
Well, there is. Food waste basically can be taken out of the stream and sent up to an anaerobic digestion plant. And an anaerobic digestion plant will basically allow the food to degrade, and it will produce gas as it does so. And that gas has an energy component which can be burnt to create green energy. And that's exactly what we're going to be looking at doing with that. So all of the waste that comes from our trial in South Kesteven will be transported up to Helmswell Cliff to our partners there that will be digesting that waste, and it will be used to create green energy.
So are some people going to get a new bin to dispose of it in?
Absolutely. Everybody that's going to be invited to participate in the trial will be given 2 caddies, a small caddy, a little 7-litre caddy, and a large 23-litre caddy. The small caddy goes in your kitchen, and we'll be supplying little caddy bags to go in there, and the people will be asked to scrape their food waste into the small caddy, into the bag in the small caddy. When the small caddy's full, they take the bag out, tie it, and place it in the larger caddy, which they should keep outside their back door of their property. And so effectively, at the end of the week, that large caddy can be put out with their normal waste and collected each week.
So will it create more of a mess on the streets?
No, it shouldn't do. These caddies are very well designed. They've got lockable lids, and plus all of the food that you've collected in your kitchen should be inside a biodegradable plastic bag as well. But nevertheless, all of our teams will be equipped with cleaning equipment so that should there be a spillage, it'll be cleaned up effectively. So what we're hoping is that this will be a very, very clean and efficient method of separating out and collecting food waste.
How about attracting animals?
Well, yes, the outside, obviously the caddy is sat outside your back door, but it has a lockable lid. So it's a very, very robust plastic caddy, and it has a lockable lid, so animals and foxes and all sorts of things like that shouldn't be able to get in to it. So it should be relatively safe.
Okay, so what sort of food can actually go into it?
Pretty much anything. Anything that's food, basically. Even your chicken bones can go in there. It's basically, if it's been on your plate and you were going to eat it, it can go into the caddy.
Has the trial started yet?
The trial hasn't started yet. It's going to start in the first week in June. We're sending out the invitations to people to participate right now. So that coincides with our drop-in sessions that we're having. We've already had 2 last week. We've got more next week. So people will be able to find out more about it. But we will be communicating at every stage to the participants exactly what's going to happen. And we'll be giving as much assistance as we can to make this trial a success.
So how long's the trial for?
The trial is for a year. This is done. We are effectively a member of the Lincolnshire Waste Partnership. So we are one of 7 district councils. We're the collection authorities, and we have a partnership with those other collection authorities and the district, the county council, who are the disposal authority, but also the environment agency, who are the enforcement agency with regards to that. And we're all in a partnership, and we're looking at doing it as for that partnership, and it's all funded by the county council.
So if it goes well, then what are the future plans?
Well, if it goes well, then during the year we'll know that it's going well, and we'll be having discussions as a partnership as to whether or not it's something that we should be rolling out across all of the collection authorities, and then we have a conversation and work out what the pros and cons of that are, and whether it's something that we can do, and hopefully it will be. We're going into this as South Kesteven District Council are entering into this with the view that it is something that we would aspire to do as a continuing basis.
How about if it doesn't go so well?
Well, you can't argue with the numbers is something that I say to my team all of the time. At the end of the day, that's why we do a trial. We have to look at this and see whether or not it's something that is going to be of value to the people of our districts and our county. If it turns out that it's going to cost so much that it's not going to provide us what we would like to think of as value for money, then we have to look at other ways of handling our waste and helping to reduce our waste. But I believe that actually if we do this right, we'll get the right answer. And the right answer is that we should be separating out food waste, because that's going to help our consumers reduce what they put into their residual bins, and it's going to help us clean up the recycling that they put out as well.
Peter, thank you very much for your time today, and thank you for all of the information.
You're welcome, Lydia. That's no problem at all.
Well, that's it for this week's Rutland Radio podcast. If you have any comments, you can email us via the website, rutlandradio.co.uk, and we'll have a new version on our website from Monday.
This is a download from Rutland Radio. For more information, go to rutlandradio.co.uk.